In a distant galaxy, there existed a powerful alien empire known as the Zarnok. This empire ruled with an iron fist, spreading fear across countless worlds. Planets trembled at the sound of their ships, which blotted out the stars like dark clouds. The Zarnok enforced strict control over their subjects, punishing any who dared to resist. They believed that strength was the only way to keep peace. On a small, dusty planet called Taros, life was harsh for its inhabitants. The people lived in constant fear of the Zarnok soldiers, who patrolled the streets and enforced their cruel laws. Despite the danger, a bright light shone in the heart of the colony, a young human child named Alex. Alex was a curious and adventurous 10-year-old with big dreams of freedom. The child had a wild shock of black hair and sparkling blue eyes that shone with hope. Every day, Alex would climb to the top of a hill overlooking the colony, where the view of the distant stars brought a sense of wonder. One day, Alex would whisper to the wind, "I will explore those stars and find a place where we can be free." The child loved to imagine worlds beyond the Zarnok's grasp, filled with laughter and joy. Alex's dreams spread hope among the other children, who admired the child's bravery and spirit. But danger lurked around every corner. The Zarnok had eyes everywhere. Their enforcers, tall and fearsome, were known for their ruthless tactics. They would enter homes unannounced, searching for anyone who dared to speak out against the Empire. The people of Taros lived in constant dread, knowing that any whisper of rebellion could lead to swift punishment. Yet even in fear, they longed for change. One day, while playing in the woods, Alex stumbled upon a secret meeting of rebels hidden in the shadows of the trees. The group was made up of brave individuals from different races, each seeking to end the Empire's reign of terror. They whispered plans of resistance, sharing stories of past struggles and dreams for the future. Alex's heart raced with excitement. These were the heroes the child had dreamed of. The rebels noticed Alex eavesdropping and initially feared that the child might be a Zarnok spy. But when they saw the determination in Alex's eyes, they welcomed the child. "You have a spark in you," said a tall, strong woman named Lyra, who led the group. "We need that spirit to fight against the Zarnok." Alex felt a rush of pride and determination. The child knew then that this was where the adventure would begin. Days turned into weeks as Alex began to train with the rebels. The child learned about strategy, stealth, and the importance of unity. Together, they shared stories of loss and hope, growing stronger as a team. The rebels even created a plan to sabotage a nearby Zarnok supply ship. They believed that if they could strike a blow against the Empire, it would inspire others to join their cause. As the sun set over Taros, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, Alex stood atop the hill again, staring at the stars. The child felt a mix of excitement and fear. "We can change this," Alex thought, determination filling the heart. "We can make a difference." Little did Alex know, the path ahead would be filled with challenges. The Zarnok were not easily defeated, and their grip on the galaxy was strong. But in that moment, standing on the hill, the child felt the first stirrings of hope. The Empire may have ruled with terror, but the spark of rebellion was beginning to ignite, and Alex was at the heart of it. The days passed quickly on Taros, and the rebels continued to grow stronger. Alex trained hard with them, learning the ways of stealth and strategy. The child was filled with a fierce determination to help others and bring an end to the Zarnok's reign of terror. Hope filled the air, and whispers of rebellion spread through the colony like wildfire. People began to believe that change was possible. However, the Zarnok were always watching. They sensed the rising tension in the colony and prepared to crush any hint of resistance. Their fearsome enforcers moved quietly, collecting information about the rebels. One night, as Alex practiced with the rebels, an uneasy feeling settled in the pit of the child's stomach. Something bad was coming, and the air felt heavy with dread. That same evening, a chilling silence fell over Taros. The usual sounds of the colony faded, replaced by a feeling of impending doom. Alex's parents, who had always worried about the child's involvement with the rebels, urged Alex to come home. "Stay close to us, Alex," they said with worried faces. "It's not safe out there." The child agreed, but promised to return to the training as soon as possible. As night fell, the Zarnok launched their surprise attack. The sky darkened with the shadows of their ships, and the colony was suddenly alive with fear. Bright lights flashed, and loud booms echoed through the streets. Alex's heart raced as the child realized what was happening. "We have to help!" Alex shouted, trying to run toward the sounds of chaos. But Alex's parents held the child back. "No, it's too dangerous. We have to hide!" They hurried to the basement of their home, hoping to stay safe until the attack passed. But the sounds of destruction filled the air, and Alex could hear the cries of people outside. The child's heart sank. Alex felt helpless and scared, wanting to fight back but being trapped in a dark basement. Hours passed and the chaos continued outside. Suddenly, the sounds changed. Alex heard the heavy footsteps of the Zarnok enforcers moving closer. The door to their home burst open, and the terrifying figures stormed inside. The enforcers began to search the house, their eyes cold and merciless. Alex's parents whispered for the child to stay quiet, but fear gripped their hearts. In the struggle, one enforcer stumbled upon Alex's hiding place. Panic surged through the child. "Run!" Alex screamed, pushing past the enforcer. But the alien grabbed the child's arm, holding tight. Alex's parents rushed forward, trying to save their child. In the scuffle, a blaster shot rang out. Time seemed to freeze as Alex turned to see the horror unfold. The shot had struck Alex's father, who fell to the ground, a look of shock on his face. "No!" Alex cried, rushing to him. Tears streamed down the child's cheeks as the reality of the moment sank in. Alex's mother screamed and fought to get to her husband, but it was too late. The Zarnok enforcers took advantage of the chaos, dragging Alex away. In the midst of the confusion, Alex watched as everything shattered. The dreams of freedom, the hope for a brighter future, all crumbled in an instant. The child felt an overwhelming wave of sadness and anger. "This cannot be how it ends," Alex thought, tears blurring the vision. "I will not let them win." As the Zarnok dragged Alex into the night, the child's heart burned with a newfound resolve. The loss was unbearable, but it ignited a fire within. Alex knew that the death of loved ones would not be in vain. The Empire would pay for this heartbreak, and the child would ensure that no one else suffered the same fate. The rebellion had become personal. Alex would carry the memory of the fallen forward, turning pain into strength. The Empire may have ruled with terror, but now they had awakened a fierce and determined spirit. The fight was far from over, it was only just beginning. The loss of Alex's father weighed heavily on the child's heart. The bright dreams of freedom that once filled Alex's mind were now clouded with grief and anger. But deep within, something else was growing, a burning desire for revenge against the Zarnok Empire. The pain of loss had transformed into a powerful spark, igniting a fierce determination in Alex. In the days that followed, the colony of Taros was in mourning. Many families grieved for those lost in the attack. The streets that once echoed with laughter now felt empty and quiet. But in the shadows, whispers of rebellion grew louder. The rebels, led by Lyra, gathered to share stories of Alex's father and the many others who had fallen to the Zarnok. "His sacrifice will not be forgotten," Lyra said passionately, her voice strong and full of fire. "We will fight for him and for every person they have taken from us. We will show the Zarnok that we are not afraid." The words resonated deeply within Alex. The child felt a sense of purpose, realizing that the time for action had come. It was no longer just about dreams of freedom, it was about standing up against tyranny. Alex joined the rebels again, ready to face the challenges ahead. The rebels devised a new plan. They would not wait for the Zarnok to strike again. They would take the fight to them. Their first target was a Zarnok supply ship that regularly brought resources to the colony. This ship was vital to the Empire's control, and if they could sabotage it, they could weaken their oppressors. Under the cover of night, the rebels gathered in a hidden spot near the landing area of the supply ship. Alex stood among them, heart pounding with excitement and fear. This was the moment they had been preparing for, and the stakes were high. "We have to be brave," Alex whispered to the group. "For everyone we've lost." The others nodded, sharing a determined look. As the ship approached, the rebels took their positions. Lyra gave the signal, and they sprang into action. Alex felt adrenaline surge through the body, driving the child forward. They moved like shadows, slipping past the guards who were unaware of the impending attack. Alex's heart raced as they reached the supply ship, a massive structure covered in dark metal. With quick hands, the rebels set explosives around the ship. They worked silently, focused on their mission. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps echoed in the distance. "Hurry!" Lyra urged, her eyes wide with urgency. They had to finish their task before the Zarnok discovered them. Just as they placed the last explosive charge, alarms blared throughout the area. Bright lights flooded the landing zone, and the Zarnok guards shouted in panic. "We've been found!" one of them yelled. Without thinking, Alex grabbed a blaster from a fallen guard, feeling a mix of fear and determination. "Run!" Lyra shouted, and the rebels took off in different directions, the sound of explosions ringing in their ears. Alex felt a rush of energy, running faster than ever before. The ship began to shake, and flames erupted into the night sky. The rebels had struck a blow against the Empire. As they regrouped in the safety of the woods, the rebels shared a mixture of laughter and disbelief. They had done it! They had shown the Zarnok that they were not powerless. "This is just the beginning," Lyra declared, her eyes shining with pride. "We will inspire others to join us. The spark of rebellion has been lit!" Alex looked around at the faces of the rebels, each filled with hope and determination. The death of Alex's father and the losses they had endured were not in vain. They had taken the first step toward a brighter future. The fear that once held them captive was slowly melting away, replaced by a fierce desire to fight for their freedom. From that day on, Alex became a key member of the rebellion, not just as a symbol of hope, but as a fighter ready to face the darkness. The child knew that the journey ahead would be filled with challenges, but the spark of rebellion was alive, and it burned brightly in their hearts. The explosion of the Zarnok supply ship sent shockwaves through the Empire. News of the rebels' bold attack spread quickly, igniting hope across Taros and the nearby colonies. People who had lived in fear for too long began to rise. They no longer wanted to be under the thumb of the Zarnok, they wanted to fight back. Alex felt the change in the air, a powerful energy that promised a new dawn. Lyra, now seen as a leader among the rebels, called for a gathering. "This is our moment!" she shouted, her voice ringing out through the crowd. "The Zarnok have underestimated us. They think we are weak, but we will show them our strength. We are not just fighting for our freedom, we are fighting for every human who has suffered under their terror." The crowd erupted in cheers, their voices echoing through the dark streets of Taros. Alex stood at the front, heart pounding with excitement. The child had never felt such a rush of determination. The loss of loved ones had transformed into a fierce resolve, fueling the fire of rebellion. As the days passed, the rebels planned their next move. They decided to launch a coordinated series of attacks against Zarnok outposts in the area. Each target was chosen carefully, aiming to disrupt the Empire's operations and show that humanity would no longer be a victim. Alex trained harder than ever. The child learned how to handle weapons, strategize with the team, and move swiftly through the shadows. With every lesson, Alex grew stronger and more confident. The other rebels looked to the child as a source of inspiration, a reminder that even the smallest among them could spark great change. Finally, the day of the first coordinated attack arrived. The rebels gathered in a hidden location, discussing the plan one last time. "Stay focused," Lyra said, looking at each member. "We will strike quickly and then disappear. Remember, our goal is to send a message." With a nod of understanding, the rebels set out toward their targets. Alex felt a mix of fear and excitement, knowing that they were about to confront the enemy head-on. As they approached the first Zarnok outpost, the tension was palpable. The guards were oblivious, busy with their duties. "Now!" Lyra commanded, and the rebels charged forward, a wave of fury and determination. Alex fired the blaster for the first time, the weapon feeling powerful in the child's hands. The Zarnok guards scrambled, surprised by the sudden attack. Chaos erupted, and Alex felt a surge of adrenaline. The rebels fought fiercely, moving as a team, their hearts united by a common cause. As the battle raged on, Alex spotted a group of children trapped in a nearby building. Fear gripped the child's heart. "We have to save them!" Alex shouted, pointing toward the building. Lyra nodded, understanding the urgency. "Go! I'll cover you!" Lyra replied, her voice strong and steady. Without hesitating, Alex dashed toward the building. The sounds of blaster fire filled the air, but the child was focused only on the mission. Reaching the entrance, Alex pushed the door open, heart racing. Inside, the frightened children looked up, their eyes wide with fear. "Come with me!" Alex urged, waving them forward. The children hesitated, unsure of what to do. "It's okay! We're here to help you!" The sound of blaster shots echoed outside, reminding everyone that time was short. With a deep breath, the children stepped forward and Alex led them outside. As they ran back toward the rebels, Alex could feel the weight of responsibility. Protecting others was no longer just a dream. It was a mission that the child was committed to. When they rejoined Lyra and the other rebels, the group had pushed the Zarnok back. The outpost was in ruins, a testament to their fury. "We did it!" Lyra exclaimed, pride shining in her eyes. The rebels cheered, their spirits lifted. In that moment, Alex realized that humanity's fury was a powerful force. The child had witnessed the strength of people united in purpose, willing to fight for freedom and protect those in need. The rebellion was more than just an act of revenge, it was a declaration of humanity's resilience. As they celebrated their victory, Alex felt a deep sense of belonging. The loss of loved ones had shaped the child, but it had also forged a path toward hope. With every battle, they were showing the Zarnok that humanity would no longer cower in fear. The flame of rebellion was now a raging fire, and it would burn brightly until they were free. The victories of the rebels sent waves of hope throughout the colonies. Each attack against the Zarnok Empire had brought new allies into the fight. People who once cowered in fear now stood tall, ready to join the cause. Among them was Alex, who felt a sense of belonging that the child had never experienced before. Together, they were becoming a force that the Zarnok could no longer ignore. In the heart of Taros, Lyra called for a gathering of all the rebels and supporters. The air was thick with anticipation. "Today we stand united," she declared, her voice echoing through the crowd. "We are not just fighting for ourselves. We are fighting for a future free from the terror of the Zarnok." Cheers erupted from the crowd, and Alex felt a rush of excitement. The child stood among friends, everyone ready to fight for the same dream, a future where they could live in peace. With each victory, their numbers grew, and their hope blossomed. The plan for the next mission was ambitious. The rebels aimed to strike at the heart of the Zarnok Empire itself, their main base on the planet Slarin. It was a risky endeavor, but it was also the chance to deal a decisive blow. Lyra explained the strategy in detail, and everyone listened closely. "We will attack at dawn. With our combined strength, we can take them by surprise," she said. Alex felt a mix of fear and excitement. The child understood that this battle could change everything. If they succeeded, they could free many more people and bring an end to the Zarnok's reign of terror. But if they failed, the consequences would be dire. As the night wore on, the rebels prepared for the fight ahead. Alex checked and double-checked the weapons, making sure everything was ready. The child's heart raced with determination. There was no turning back now. They were ready to make history. When dawn broke, the rebels gathered, their faces lit by the first light of the sun. Lyra stood at the front, her eyes bright with resolve. "Today we fight for our freedom. Today we fight for every human who has suffered. Let's show the Zarnok our strength." The crowd erupted in cheers, the sound of their voices blending with the dawn. The rebels moved swiftly toward Slarin, their hearts pounding in unison. Alex led a small group navigating through the rocky terrain. As they approached the Zarnok base, the sheer size of it took the child's breath away. It loomed over them like a dark shadow, but Alex felt a surge of courage. "Stick to the plan," Lyra reminded them. "Stay focused!" With that, they charged forward. Blaster fire erupted, lighting up the morning sky. The Zarnok guards were taken by surprise, and the rebels fought fiercely. Each member remembered the loss they had faced, the pain that had united them. The battle raged on, and Alex fought with all the strength the child could muster. Every blaster shot fired was filled with purpose. The Zarnok soon realized that humanity was no longer afraid. With each small victory, they pushed further into the base, gaining ground against their oppressors. As they fought, Alex spotted a group of Zarnok soldiers trying to escape. Without thinking, the child sprinted after them, feeling a rush of adrenaline. "Stop!" Alex shouted, raising the blaster. The soldiers turned, panic in their eyes. They were no longer the hunters, they were the prey. With quick reflexes, Alex fired. The blaster shot struck true, and the soldiers fell. In that moment, Alex understood the power of standing up against tyranny. The fear that once gripped the child was replaced by a fierce determination to protect the future they were fighting for. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the rebels reached the command center of the Zarnok base. With a final push, they stormed inside. Lyra and Alex led the charge, their hearts beating as one. Together, they disabled the main control panel, sending a shockwave through the Zarnok forces. As the Zarnok base fell into chaos, the rebels celebrated. They had done it? They had taken down the heart of the Empire. The victory was sweet, and the taste of freedom was finally within reach. In the aftermath of the battle, the people of Teros and the nearby colonies rejoiced. They began to rebuild their lives, filled with hope and determination. Alex stood among them, knowing that the journey was not over, but a bright new future awaited. Together they would forge a path to peace, ensuring that the sacrifices made would never be forgotten. The spark of rebellion had turned into a flame, and humanity's fury had reshaped the galaxy. They would continue to fight, not just for themselves, but for generations to come. The legacy of Alex and the rebels would be one of courage, resilience, and a commitment to never allow tyranny to rule again.